One. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Night Talk here on the Freedom Revolution Network. It is Friday, December 4th. Holy shit.
Yes,
God, last month of 2020.
it's getting on.
What is up, guys? I am your host, Dwayne Lanham, and your amazing co-host, TLO. What is up?
Back to the void. Back again. Just doing Christmas shopping.
I feel it.
Kind of limited though, but doing the best I can.
Right. No, I get that. So tonight, guys, we are going to be hitting some sensitive freaking topics. So for any of you that want to join, I will pull up the call-in number later, or if you're a host and want to come in the back room, go more ahead. You are welcome to. We love you here on the Freedom Revolution Network. So the first topic we're going to get out of the way, we're going to get the most hard one out of the way. An 11-year-old boy in the state of California shot and killed himself in a Zoom room in front of other kids. Let's sit here and talk about that for a minute. Now, if this wasn't going on, and this is what actually, if COVID wasn't going on, that he would have either done that in school or it would have been another school shooting.
Yeah, you can look at it that way, that it has a more shiny outline than, what the true meaning of it is. And the true meaning is obviously, as we watch the world basically burn from the inside out.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, literally. People are starting to lose their stuff. And I attested to this a long time ago. If we ever cross paths with any of my exes or a few of my friends, they would attest as well that I've kind of called how these events have played out. Let's just say I'm pretty close on my end of days bingo.
Oh, dude, my bingo card's full.
Yeah, mine's pretty much there.
It's bad enough I had to start a second bingo card for 2021.
Well, let's hope it has somewhat of a decent start, as long as it's not like too crazy. If it's we're dealing with shit and it's going along, but it's not like super bad, then it'll be all right. Obviously it could go either way on the other side, but I think as long as we get through the holiday season, and say, especially if things get to about February, and if it isn't too nuts, I think we'll be all right. But if it gets nuts and gets even more nuts during that time, I don't know if the human race psyche will be able to cope.
Right. I don't think so either, because I know my mental health. I mean, God, all of our mental health has gone to fucking shit this past year.
Correct.
I mean, God, look at how many times TLO I've almost ended up in a mental hospital this year because I was just done. And it's like this, man. It's like, how much more can the human brain handle?
Well, we are highly capable beings, but yeah, there's always breaking points.
There's always breaking points in a human being, and we found a lot Also, all of us hosts have found our breaking points this year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, God, it's bad enough when it's 2020, shit's going to hell, and the Browns are fucking winning. I'm gonna steal a Scarlet. You know it's a bad year when the Browns are winning.
Yeah, I mean, that could be an indicator of things to come, but I don't know. I think probably the more important one is the Steelers being undefeated. So
Hey, watch it. Watch it.
because that's always a tough one, especially when you get into this stretch of the season.
Right?
And you get a lot of trap games, and not only that, towards the end, especially with the kind of chemistry, like most people aren't going to risk any sort of injuries, especially with the COVID, so they may sideline a few players towards the end. And
Right.
that always could go, that could cut either way. But I have a feeling that your Steelers will probably just continue and strive on because they're almost all but guaranteed that first seed bye or whatever because of the new format.
Right.
Now, I can't really say anything about my team. If they get into the playoffs, they'll probably limp in unless they decide to, play on a consistent basis. Because, like, it really just comes down to that. Because obviously, we have multiple skilled players at multiple positions, and yet one week they can just get their asses handed to them, and then the next week they look like a competitive team that could be in the top 10 teams. So
Right. And TLO, me and you were on the phone for most of the actually 90% of the Minnesota game.
correct.
And then what? We were on the phone through at least probably the first quarter of the Redskins game.
Yep. No, we were on the phone for a minute.
And just this year is coming to an end, and it's coming to it's still coming to shit.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is it's still kind of flying apart.
Right. And it's bad enough, TLO, like excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm drinking Code Red. It's making me burp.
I am drinking it too, but you don't hear me sounding the alarms.
Dude, I'm not meaning to, but you're probably drinking a 20 ounce, and I'm drinking out of a 2 liter.
No, actually, I'm drinking out of a can.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the cans stay cool longer, so.
Right.
And I've been up to some trying to stay in the holiday cheer. So I've been working, trying to get my little studio apartment here straightened up, and then pretty soon, hopefully, I'll be able to go live and whatnot with my bright and shiny personality and whatnot. So,
Right.
We'll wait and see. Things are still transpiring. I've got a fat ass orange cat that's passed out on my Lego train that I'm trying to lay out, and that's making things difficult. I've got a neighbor that just cannot stop humping their girlfriend, and that's just getting like silly. Like, I'm like, damn, y'all. Like, take a break. I need to watch some TV here.
Right.
Something for the kids. Rudolph or Frosty. Hell, I've even got the Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas.
Oh my God. Let's talk about Christmas here for a minute because we've only got 21 days till Christmas, 20 days till Christmas Eve.
Right.
And so, sorry, Scarlett is messaging all of us in the backstage chat on Facebook. But you know what? Here's the thing is like we got 20 days till Christmas. 20 days. 21 days, whatever. And I'm working Christmas Eve.
We'll see. We'll see if I work Christmas Eve. You always have to keep in mind, Dwayne. In the adult life, there may be some days or some years you have to work a holiday, but just take it in stride because you'll be getting a little extra cash. So that's something to always keep in mind. That's what I kept in mind for my check that I'm going to get paid because I'm going to have time and a half for Thanksgiving. So
right. And I'm gonna say this. Fucking Scarlett, I love her. Sorry, TLO, I'm fucking looking at text messages at the same time. And I don't mind working Christmas Eve. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's considered holiday pay for us.
Correct.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, give me a minute. I gotta mute the chat so I'm not getting dings. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can shut my notifications off on my laptop. I should be able to. Give me a minute. Sorry, TLO.
No, you're all right.
I'm just getting all these freaking notifications, and I'm going like, shut up.
Yeah, I can tell it's getting to you.
Well, it's like this. Ooh, I found a new way to control my brightness. Yay! Turn the computer brightness down. Cool. Put it on 50. Sorry, my computer updated, so I'm doing new things to my computer. Guys, and it's like this. I am that type of person that will. I don't care what I work. We obviously all know that.
Right.
Now, the only time y'all heard me literally complain about work is when I worked at McDonald's. Never worked for that corporation again. Never.
Yeah.
Never. In my years, in the past 4 years, I've been an adult. I've worked for Speedway. Actually, my first job ever was McDonald's, then Walmart, then Speedway, then Burger King, then Pet Supplies Plus, then a little convenience store up here that I worked at, another like a little retail shop. Then I went back to McDonald's, and now I'm at Lowe's. So between the time of 18 and 22, I've had 9 different jobs.
That's quite interesting.
Trying to figure out where I do best. Now, mind you, I loved my job at Pet Supplies Plus. The reason I had to quit because my seizures were going through the roof.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, I will never put down the Lowe's Corporation. Never. With me working at Lowe's TLO, it's like I get respected by my managers. Customers respect me. My coworkers respect me. I don't get talked down upon. I'm learning how to do things, and I'm learning.
Well, that's what happens when you're, your job, you're surrounded by actual adults. So,
and like they give us room to grow.
Because I'm sorry, even with the hiring of younger folks, they're already more mature just because, I'm sorry, you can't let a young idiot around power tools.
Hey, ouch. I'm one of those young idiots.
No, you are definitely not. Have you lost any fingers? That would be a no, Dwayne.
I had to look.
Oh,
Okay.
Dwayne.
You can tell it's a rough. It's starting to get rough, Mom. I can't even answer that question without looking at my own digits. But what the hell is going on with YouTube? Because it's saying someone's in here, but no one's commenting. This is weird. I normally have people commenting in the chat by now, and it's 15 minutes in.
Well, I only see one as far as the StreamYard.
That's what I'm seeing, and that if I hover my mouse above it, it says Facebook, my Facebook page because it links to the FRN page, Freedom Revolution, Twitch, and then YouTube. And I'm seeing someone's on YouTube, they're just not seeing anything, not yet at least.
Right.
But put it like this, it's like we're all being adults through a fucking shitty situation.
You're talking or referring to the COVID situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wear a mask for 8 hours out of the day. The only time I have it off for an hour is only time I ever take it off is I'm using the bathroom or if I'm outside smoking a cigarette on my lunch break.
Well, yeah, hold on to your tights, my friend. We're going to be dealing with all sorts of mass bullshit once Mr. Biden gets into office.
Fuck Mr. Biden.
Because he's going to make that shit federally mandated, and that means every Tom, Dick, and Harriet can try and fuck with you with your mask.
Right. Like I've said, my store is laid back, right?
Right.
Because we got a letter through our emails the one day stating that we have to tell people to leave the store if they don't have a mask on. But we are not making people leave. If they don't have a mask on, we're not saying anything to them. 90% of our customers wear masks. They see we're wearing one, so out of respect, they wear it, that they're not getting us sick or someone else is getting sick. Like they're respectful.
Well, yeah, and you do also realize when they make that shit like federally mandated, that means they can like start posting motherfuckers outside of stores to enforce it.
Yep.
Do you hear that, folks? Like there will be armed police, possibly in certain situations, National Guard. They're standing there with their bigger than AR-15s, and they are going to make you wear a mask.
They're gajonas.
And so we'll see. That's the thing is like, as I said before, once we get to February, if we see the shit really hit the fan, or if it goes off the rails by then it's going to be bad. But if it starts out kind of okay, if it's kind of like right now, a lot of bad stuff's happening, but it's still not out of control, And if it gets to the point where it gets out of control, that's where it'd be like the spark that lights the wildfire out in California. And any of our West Coast listeners know exactly what I'm talking about. Then you add in a little bit of Santa Ana winds, and woo boy, we're gonna have us a bonfire.
We are. And I've already said if a civil war starts because of all this, I will leave my mom behind, and I will leave my kid behind. And I will stand on the front lines of what I believe in.
Because it'll be an interesting war to say the least. Just because you're also like even the previous Civil War, we had outside agitators and also allies and whatnot. At that time, it was the French. At this time, it actually probably would be the French again, surprisingly enough. But it'd be an interesting one because it'll be Australia as well, because Australia is going through some serious shit with China. And if that starts getting out of hand, like it'll easily navigate over the Pacific and hit us.
What's up? What's up, Darren? I figured you were lurking.
Well, I suppose there's some folks that are still traveling and getting home. So
Yeah, I'm messaging Pam, letting her know we're live.
yeah, I haven't seen Pam in a bit.
I just messaged her. She's active, so. Good. No, guys, I'm technically supposed to be asleep right now, but I'm not. Because I slept too long. I went to bed at 2:30 and woke up at 4:30. So, well, yeah, I went to bed at 4:30 and woke up at 12:30. And I got to be at work at 8. So today is not the best day of my life. Now, TLO, let's talk about this for a minute. Were you paying attention to any of the stuff going on today in Georgia with that whole trial recount?
I kind of am, but I'm kind of not, just because I know most of the stuff that's going to be out there as far as coverage or what people are talking about is going to be highly opinionated. And so it'll be a while before the actual like truth comes out.
Right. So what were you seeing today from a TLO? Because this is something that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't really pay enough attention to it to know what was going on.
Right.
But I know that Georgia had openly admitted today that there was not a Democrat nor Republican in the room when they were counting votes. Now, that makes each vote that was counted an illegal vote. Because when ballots are being counted, there has to be a Democrat in the room and a Republican in the room to verify that vote. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And I have heard of that before because it has come up, obviously. If you probably don't remember it as well, given you were younger. But with Florida and that debacle, trust me, that was one of the things that was brought up. And so, we'll probably have something somewhat similar to that in Florida, since obviously the Senate is such a highly positioned, let's just say, prize at the moment.
Right.
And so everyone is going to be kind of doing exactly what they usually do, but with an additional dash of bullshit. And so
Right.
the politicians are going to be out there doing their thing, usually talking a bunch of crap. A lot of the people, the weirdos that are on the internet that just like to sit there and rant at anything and everything, are going to pick it up and they're going to run with it. So like, that's why I said I didn't really pay too much attention to it, because most of the stuff I saw was already heavily influenced one way or the other. And I was just like, you know what? I didn't even want to hear it. I really didn't want to hear it. Because I will always attest to something, no matter what.
Right.
The rich and the powerful are not going to give you a way to take away their riches. And
Right.
if you really think that like voting and all that stuff is going to really, topple the for you lefts out there, topple the patriarchy or our capitalistic ways, throw those by the wayside. You don't really think that those people are going to actually like allow that to happen. Like if you really think that that's true, I mean, take for example any of the other communist example countries. I mean, at this point, there's only one that's successful, but it is far, far from a socialist republic. Let me tell you that.
Right. So, guys, Pam ain't going to be in here for a minute. She broke her computer cord.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So, she'll be back in by the 10th. So, it's like this, people, I don't know, man, people really want things to change, but what are we as Americans doing about it?
Well, that's the thing, is like that's the question I usually put to most people, and most people don't really have that much of an answer. They'll say they, scream their heads off on the internet, or, screech at a cop on the street or whatnot. But like, as far as actually like going out there and trying to affect change, it's still a very small percentage of people.
Right. And no, it is.
It really truly is.
It's a small percentage of people, but at the same time, it's like, how do you really sit there and bitch on social media and say you want to do something about it, but at the same time, you don't?
Well, as we've seen with so many examples in our daily lives, unfortunately, hypocrisy seems to be kind of rampant, almost as much as the stuff you might find on the internet.
Right.
But I tell you, what it comes down to is, if people really want to change, first off, we've got to stop being as aggressive as we are towards one another. Otherwise, like, nothing's going to get accomplished, except for maybe what a lot of people are feeling is coming, which would be a civil war.
Right.
You can't sit there and yell and call people names, either political side of the aisle, and expect them to, want to work some sort of deal out. Like, this stimulus thing has been lingering for how many months now? This second stimulus, at least 3 or 4 months.
Right.
At least 3 or 4 months. And obviously the economy and the people need the money, but they've literally politicized it in front of us. And is there anything that's actually being done about it? Are the people who are sitting there, just like you said, on social media, on the internet, and complaining about it, are they actually doing something about it? No.
Right. Like, I'm sitting here reading through Facebook, and people are going like, well, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change.
Then how?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going like, how? How are we supposed to, like, people make no sense.
Well, it's not making no sense. It's just, you have to actually think out some sort of formula for the problem, or I should say, the solution to these problems that you see. Whether it be it needs to be changed, or it needs to be gotten rid of completely, or this thing needs to be added. You have to have an idea, and you have to have an idea how you implement it. You can't just say, oh, this is going to happen. That's not how it works. I mean, unless you're Winnie the Pooh, you can't just snap your fingers and have stuff materialize. That's not how the real world works.
Right. And it's not.
It's not. It really isn't. And a lot of people have either forgotten that, or are choosing blatantly to ignore it, because it has gotten to be blatant for certain folks. I remember recalling, or I should say, I recall a article I saw today. Actually, two. It was kind of funny because it was contrasting. One was, I believe, from Fox News, and the other was, I believe, from Politico. And they were talking about the fact that, these influencers and internet personalities and whatnot are going out there and, saying, how dare these people go out there and protest about masks and stuff like that, and then turn around and have, these little swanky parties with 400 people crammed in. And you know damn well that they're sharing bodily fluids.
Right. So, and that brings up my next point. Is, everybody's worried about coronavirus. But TL, you just made the exact point. Say that again. They're sharing bodily fluids.
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, if you're, I'm sure there might be some people out there will try and protest what I'm saying or try to counter it. But take this, for example. If you truly are worried about the coronavirus, and let's just say how easily it navigates the population, you wouldn't be getting drunk in close proximity with a bunch of people, predominantly maskless at that, and take that risk without it going that full extra mile. Especially these people. I mean, they're obviously living in a different world than us.
Right.
And it goes back to that little silly video at the beginning of the lockdowns and shutdowns with Gal Gadot. And I'll put this out there, full disclosure, I love Gal Gadot. I think she's a beautiful and strong woman, and she's very smart. But that was just a very badly timed and probably not fully conceived idea. And she was trying to do it for, helping people out because of another thing that we've talked about, people losing their shit. And so she was trying to, help, trying to do what she thought she could, and it just came out wrong. Still, people vilified her. Still, people, did this and that. And I knew it was a mistake, and I thought it was kind of stupid. But, each to their own. It's hard to sit there and say we're all in this together while your backdrop is a fucking villa with a nice Olympic-sized pool and your butler waiting to serve your drink to you.
Right.
Because trust me, it's not like that for everyone. It's just not.
No, it's not. And that's the fucked up thing about it. People want to complain, oh, we got it better. Oh, we do this. Oh, we do that. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, no, there are those folks out there. I mean, and then there's obviously the folks out there that, blatantly flaunt things, and whether it's for political or self-interest, they still do it nonetheless.
No, they do. Trust me. I know that.
Yes, Darren. We had talked about that with, or at least I had mentioned Australia and China, and that's the whole thing. Is like, what if? Have people thought about it? What if we actually do come to blows with each other here in the United States? That'd be a perfect opportunity for certain powers to get a little power hungry and start land grabbing. And we wouldn't be able to do anything about it because guess what? We're dealing with our own war.
Yeah, we are, and and we're already vulnerable enough for another country to come in.
Exactly. And that's another thing that obviously people either aren't thinking about or just are blatantly aren't caring. And for that issue, it's either or. There's not really a gray area. That one's pretty cut and dry. That one, you want some foreign power to do something, or you just don't care, or I don't know, maybe some of you took Chinese, so or I'm sorry, Mandarin. So you think that everything will be, copacetic. I don't know. But the other people obviously are out there and saying we should probably do something about it. And I will say this: Biden is probably going to be tough, but we'll see if he's tough enough. Because
Right.
Biden has always, I will give Biden. I'm not a big Biden fan. I'm not a big Biden fan.
None of us are.
Um, but he has always been a lot more stern in his words and his sort of actions towards China than a lot of politicians. A lot of politicians seem to just want to begging the pardon here for the term, but kowtowing to um, the special interests. I mean, you see it predominantly with our Hollywood. They let China affect our stories, like people's stories. That's the reason why a lot of people don't know, but that's comes down to a lot of the quote unquote differences with the studios. It's more of that sort of special interest. Oh, they have something in here that makes like a little sly comment about, the oppression going on in China. Oh, can't have that. Otherwise, you're going to lose this market. And that's all they think about. And they're letting the politics affect their banks, which in turn affects their humanity.
Right.
Because they lose out on their humanity the minute that they're basically just kind of doing whatever for whatever reasons.
Right. And that's the thing that we really need to look at too is like how can you sit here and say one thing and then turn around and completely try to say an opposite?
Well, there's that. But we've had that through all of time. That's why I said, the hypocrisy is running rampant. That's almost as widespread as the virus itself.
Right. And that's the thing. And guys, before we go back to talking, I want to go ahead and bring up donations. If you guys want to donate to the Freedom Revolution Network, go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. Click that donate tab. Guys, we just don't have the night talk. We have tomorrow night, Clarity After Dark, with your host, Scarlet Anonymous, and co-host, Red Gypsy. Saturday nights, you got me, the night talk, with my co-host, TLO, or Scarlet Anonymous, whenever one of them decides to be here. TLO is normally always here.
Yeah, pretty much always.
Sundays you have Journey into Freedom with Red Gypsy and with your host Red Gypsy and co-host Scarlet Anonymous. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have the original Red Pill Show with host Tim Parson and co-host me. And then on Wednesdays, guys, we have Bible study at I don't know anymore what time it is because I work every Wednesday now. So it will be sometime that day. But like I said, guys, donate or just tribute to a show, guys, put in the tribute box, like the original Red Pill Show, the Night Talk, whichever ones. Or you guys become a monthly donor at that. And if you guys donate $50 or more, you guys get a free t-shirt. And TLO, we're still working on your t-shirt.
I will believe it when I see it.
We're still working on the t-shirts, guys. We're getting there, guys, and it's taken us a little bit. But you know what? Here in the network, we're a family. You know what I mean, TLO?
Yes, I do.
We're a family. Like TLO has been there when I was going through shit. I've been there when TLO was going through shit. Or when one of us are down, we all try to pull that one person up.
Well, we definitely look out for one another.
Hell yeah, we do. And it's like, I've been showing so much love and support here in the network. Oof, that is just outpouring.
No, there's a lot of good folks here. That's what drew me over.
Right, and you can't find that anywhere else, which is literally amazing. It's literally the fact that we have one, two, Red, me, Tim, Scarlett, Tilo, Becca, Heather. Oh, I forgot a show. How dare I? And we had the Liberty Librarian on Thursday with
And it
Heather.
was
Oh my God, I'm horrible. Ah! Sorry, Heather, if you were watching this. I forgot. Poor Heather, man.
naughty Dwayne.
I'm horrible. I know I'm a horrible person. And then, guys, here soon. Um, I know we're working out 2 new shows, so guys, stay tuned. It's going to be amazing. The network is growing, it's booming, and we're just getting out there right now. This is what we do to bring the revolution to you guys who don't have a voice. That's why we come on here. We do this for the people who don't have a voice or are afraid to stand up, to where we can empower you guys to use your voice and bring that revolution that America needs. You know what I mean, TLO?
I can dig it.
Like, that's why I'm here, because I want to be that voice for the person who doesn't have one.
I just tell them to use their voice. That's what I was always told.
That's the difference between me and you, is like there's people out there who are afraid to use their voice, and it's like, why?
I don't know. I was always taught at a young age just to use your voice. And yeah, some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. You're just going to have to deal with it. And that's how life is.
Life sucks, especially in 2020.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, obviously when things are predominantly not in the great category, you'll probably get more negative responses to what you say. Just naturally.
Right.
And so here we are in 2020, as Dwayne alluded. And most of the things we see on the air, on television, if you guys even watch that, some people are just glued to their devices. On the internet, like, most of it is bad. Like,
It is.
wherever you go. Like, I watch YouTube videos and most of the stuff on there is bad. A lot of it is just shit talking about other people. And I'm like, wow. I think we can probably do things a little more creative than that. I don't know. One of the things I like to look at, for all of those people out there who may or may not be listening to any sort of revolutionary network, is I like to look at the Impossible Things channel. And I like to look at supernatural stuff, mysteries, unsolved, abandoned places, may or may not be subject to paranormal activity, that sort of thing. But no, people want to have, 3-4 hours of what may not be wrong with somebody else.
Right.
But as I said before, mostly what's wrong with somebody else, as we are in 2020.
I mean, you really want me to answer that question? Like, what's wrong with people? Everything's wrong with people these days.
Well, it's not really meant to be rhetorical, but I suppose if you feel so inclined.
It's at what... and I hate turning a rhetorical question into it, and having an answer for a rhetorical question, because that's normally not me. But God, I'm just tired of stupid people, dude.
Well, dude, I would have to agree with you on that, because there's definitely plenty of it out there. But that's the thing right now, is how can we tell whether it's stupidity, or people are acting out, or people are going batty, or people are infected and like turning into zombies? I don't know. Like who can tell nowadays? That's why I just kind of go about my business and see what happens. Somebody, messes with me and it gets serious, I'll just have to take care of it.
Right. It's like this, is like we're doing what we can as American people to try to make this country better. Now there's some of you out there that going like, oh, we vote for Biden, we're gonna be free, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, but there's always you'll always have a degree of that in any cycle of elections where you have a perceived reign. So, say a lot of the people with what happened in 2016. I mean, look at the devastation on one side, and then the elation on the other. And then you have that before when in 2008 when somebody came to power and everyone was like, oh my goodness, somebody like stop the fucking press, a black man in office, it's going to be kumbaya and lift every voice and sing for everyone. And it turned out not to be that way, but
You're
you
right.
always have those people who are going to celebrate and react that way. So i.e. Biden won and people are acting like they're, going to have some sort of emancipation holiday like bonanza.
You know what?
I don't I mean, there's already like there's actually quite a few emancipation holidays. There, I believe, should be a federal one, but each to their own. Obviously, the southern states are probably going to be less likely inclined to have a emancipation uh, celebration. Let's just be honest. Let's just put it out there. Because like another thing of reality is there's going to be people who are always going to be the way they are. You're not going to just sit there browbeat them. You're not going to sit there and you know virtue signal or try and like cancel them out and just automatically change how they feel about things in the world. It just does not work that way. And so
Right.
I'm not sure how people are expecting their how they're using their voices is really going to affect at least any positive change. It might be a change, but I don't know if it's really going to be a positive change.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't put your lights out there, Mr. Dwayne. You'll end up going nighty night.
Oh no, my lights aren't out. My lights aren't. I just shut my camera off. I was doing something.
Ah, gotcha.
It's taking some medication, so my camera was off.
Right.
And guys, I do want to say this. Oh God, fucking getting tired.
Well, that's what happens when you oversleep and end up repositioning or whatnot your schedule. So,
Ugh. I do want to say this, guys. I am going to ask for prayers for me on Wednesday. On Tuesday, I have a neurology appointment at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, and
yeah.
now I'm scared, dude. Everybody's going like, "Oh, it's just going to be a consultation." Yeah, a consultation to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is it's scary, but you'll know, and knowing is half the battle.
Knowing right now is literally half the battle. Yes, I'm shutting my lights out because I'm starting to get a fucking massive headache. Ugh.
Because yeah,
Knowing
you'd
right now,
rather know than not know.
pretty much.
So yeah, just keep that in mind, and I'll keep you in my thoughts, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Right, and I'll keep you guys updated on each appointment and on what's going on. You guys know that we can stay in this together, because like guys, I get there's people are going through medical issues and we're like, oh, we don't want to go out and get them dealt with, but because of the virus. But guys, if we want to stay alive through this thing and see this to the end, we got to do whatever we can to stay alive. Whether that's me having to quit smoking, whether that's me having to drink pop or stop eating certain foods, or guys, we have to be in this together. Because united we stand, divided we fall.
Well, see, unfortunately, there's some people out there that haven't gotten that message or have forgotten that message. Much like, unfortunately, that aforementioned young man out in California. He lost that message.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of people have, because, suicide rates are just astronomical. Like, they don't even have our rates because they probably wouldn't be able to account for all of them. And you now have the COVID, and so I'm sure they'll come up with some sort of thing. Oh, well, we can't really figure it out or get really good results because of COVID, because they blame everything on COVID.
Right. Like, that young man didn't have to lose his battle like he did.
No.
He was only 11 years old. He had a whole life ahead of him. And now parents are burying their 11-year-old child. Like, how is that okay? Guess what? It's not. Guys, about what was it, Tila? 2 weeks ago I was talking about this?
You talk about it often.
No, like when I went through and read the articles and everything. That was about 2 weeks ago?
Yes, that was about 2 weeks ago.
Guys, I went through and read articles on the suicide rates. And people were going like, oh, they're not that high. I'm sorry to say, today proves y'all wrong. Because as you can see, that was an 11-year-old boy. And TLO, what was that age range? Anywhere from 11 to 15 years old.
Yeah, it was very. It had one of the highest rates.
It had one of the highest rates for suicides.
Yeah, unfortunately, that trend is probably going to stay true for a while. That's the mental effects that'll ripple for quite some time, even if we do get past this. At this point, I'm somewhat skeptical, especially with how it's been handled so far. It's not filling me with a whole lot of positivity, but we'll see. That's basically how it is. I've just gone about doing what I need to, doing the best I can with what I got. So
right.
And that's the thing, is like most people aren't even really doing that, because a lot of people are still out there obviously now trying to take advantage of the situation. Now that a lot of people are at home, you have a lot more of these people who are becoming these idiot influencers out there. I mean, I saw a YouTube thing, and it was about this guy who is exploiting his daughter down in Brazil as like some sort of like singer, funk singer, and like totally peddling on her off, and it was basically like child pornography. And I was just like, you see, and he's come into prominence now mostly just in the last year because of COVID and whatnot, and the internet, and how everybody is pretty much glued and attached to it because it's the only way of connecting, and especially for most.
Right.
And there's the younger generation is even has their mindset geared towards that form of contact.
KJ exclusive. Thank you from the love from India. Wow. That
Yes,
is the
thank you.
first time I've ever had someone from India on my show. KJ exclusive. Thank you so much for the love, man. Welcome to the Freedom Revolution Network. It's like this, TLO. And this is the last thing I'm probably gonna say for the night because my body's telling me to go back to bed for a little bit.
Yeah, you need to.
Because I gotta be up literally an hour and a half. God, it's gonna be an early morning for me. Oh shit. But guys, you know what? We gotta stay in this together because we're losing kids.
We're losing a lot of folks for a lot of different reasons.
And I'm a dad. TLO. Everybody knows I'm a father. Y'all have
Yes.
seen me bring my little man on the show when he's awake, and I don't want to ever imagine that pain of losing my child because of that.
Well, just make sure that he knows that you know. Seriously.
Yep.
Like that's the thing is a lot of this kind of stems from the fact that I'll put it out there that our culture and our society, especially here in America, has kind of garnered a lot of, I'll just say, delicate young people. Because I'm going to tell y'all, the shit that I've seen would make some of you go into an actual fit.
Right.
And yeah, it was a terrible thing, but it made me a better person because it showed me the ugliness of the world. And if you live your life with these expectations, when you live your life in these sort of, I don't know, little bubbles, these little spheres, and you don't really, know or see what happens outside those spheres, your perspective becomes skewed. And I believe a lot of young people are that way. And that's why you see, like you said, a lot of people are out there and they're saying all this stuff is wrong, but what are they actually doing about it besides just saying there's a lot of stuff wrong?
Right.
It's like if they went out there and if they saw how bad it can be, they know that they would have to link up and, actually do something about it as opposed to just sitting there in their own corner of the universe saying how shitty things are.
Right. But guys, this is where I'm gonna end it. My body is telling me, Dwayne, you've had enough. I knew this. Me and TLO both knew. TLO knew once I said I've been up since 12:30 again. That this wasn't going to be a long show. I figured I would just come on and talk for about an hour with TLO and inform you guys of some of the stuff that's going on. Guys, tonight at 12 p.m. Sound on I gotta text Scarlett. Damn it! She's gonna kill me because I forgot her showtime. Like she's gonna fucking.
Dwayne.
Dude, I've
Dwayne,
forgotten a
Dwayne.
lot of shit. Dude, and it's not even cool.
Yeah, you definitely need to get some rest.
Like my seizures and everything, dude, I'm forgetting a lot of shit. And I think it's 12. Yeah, it's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time because it's 1 o'clock my time. She goes on. Catch her tomorrow night on Clarity After Dark, or me and Tim call it Clarity After Midnight, with host Scarlet Anonymous and co-host Red Gypsy. Guys, we love you. TLO, do you have any last words?
No matter where you go, there you are.
Guys, from the sea to the sky, from an earth made by God above in perfect sight. Good night, universe.